Good morning everybody, welcome back. Today we're starting the fuselage, and as I always do, I look about 3 or 4 steps ahead in the instruction manual, get everything together and test fit everything before I glue anything. And right off the bat here, setting up the first half of the fuselage side, I noticed things aren't fitting quite right. When I line the front nose piece with the plans and the back with the plans, we notice we have a bit of an overlap here. We're going to have to make some adjustments there. And I also noticed that this upper cabin piece here doesn't fit in well. So I used the ruler and I determined that this piece is perfectly flat and the issue is here. So we'll have to sand that a little flatter to get that to fit in just right. So basically I lined up the front and the back, and I'm going to do the adjusting in the center here instead of doing it on the end, because I want the horizontal stabilizer to fit perfectly here and I want the nose to be perfect. So the adjustments need to be made here. I'm going to share the adjustments. I'm going to take some of it off of this and some of it off of this piece. In other words, I'll cut this piece shorter here and this piece shorter here. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Again, we want everything to fit just perfectly before we start gluing anything. And I'll also, before I glue this half, I'll lay the other half on top of it to make sure that we're going to have a duplicate copy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this piece and get it fitting just right, and then we'll move on to this upper cabin piece here. Okay, so I got the length just right now, but now I'll just need to widen this area here a bit because this piece is tapered, so it's not going to fit in here. Just simply by cutting it shorter, it doesn't make it fit right. So we'll have to take just a hair off of this top edge here. I'll just do that with my knife. Okay, so we now have a perfect fit here. I'm really happy with that. The length is perfect. The fit is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this piece now. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Just a little slight modification. The most important part of this is this top flat edge here. This is going to provide the wing incidence 2.5 degrees. So we don't want to alter the way this piece is laying on the plans. Out of any of it, this piece has to be flat here so that the wing sits at the proper angle. What I'm doing is I'm finding the pivot point, which is right about here. I wiggle this back and forth and I can see where it's pivoting at, so I know that's the part that's holding it up, which is right about in here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I like this. This is all lined up vertically here on the plans. The leading edge section here is right on the plans. The top, the back, looks good. So I'll finish pinning this down and then I'll go ahead and glue this side, and then I'll reproduce the other side on top of it. Okay, so what I've got done, I've got the second half of the fuselage sides glued up. What I did was I pulled the pins out of the first half because it was stuck to the wax paper a bit, and so I taped the wax paper to keep it from moving without pins. And then I laid out all the pieces, did exactly what I did before. I cut and everything, make sure everything fit. Got this top cabin piece sanded and fit. But I wanted to make sure that I was making an exact duplicate copy of the first half. This is very important. This will set the tone for the accuracy and the quality of your construction for the rest of this fuselage build. Okay, so I got to do a bit of engineering here. This kit was never designed to be powered by electric, so there's no way to really get to a battery unless you take the wing off. So I'm going to put a door in here, just like the full-size Piper Cub. The top flips up, the bottom flips down. So I'm going to do a little bit of research to see exactly where it is I should be cutting to get the best scale look to it. So I'm going to do some research and see what I can come up with. Okay, I've got some more stuff done here. I got the door cut out for the battery access. I got the cabin doubler installed on both sides. I got the aft fuselage top halves glued together, ready for install. I have the F2 joiner with the doubler epoxied on. The holes are where the wing dowels will mount into, and that's going to go right up here. I already know that I'm going to have to do a little bit of adjusting on this. That'll be next. That the firewall has epoxied together to go up there at the nose, and I have the wing mounting points here, the two halves epoxied together, and that's going to go right on here. This is going to have two blind nuts on the back. This is where the bolts will go down through the wing and secure to the fuselage. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the F2 former now, and we'll be moving right along. Okay, as we're tacking these sides together here, you remember I had this template piece here because these formers gradually angle back as you go back. And I had tacked down the first side, but as I'm tacking on the second side, I wanted to make sure that I was still maintaining that proper angle, and I am. What we're trying to avoid is having one side of the fuselage straight and the other side curved around to meet it. We want the curve to be equal on both sides, and it is. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, we got both of the sides joined together now with all the formers. I ran into a bit of an issue here when I was putting in this top rear fuselage piece here. Everything to length is good and width is good, but these formers, the F4 and F5 formers, don't fit into this notch. This one doesn't fit into the notch as it should. I thought about seeing if I could make some adjustments, but then if I shorten this end, and then the rear piece wouldn't fit tight here, and I didn't really want that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a doubler and go underneath here to help support that there on the F4 and the F5 formers. I think that'll work pretty good. And then if I need to make any adjustments back here to the slots here, then I can always do that. That would be pretty easy. But other than that, it fits really well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and glue that in. And then I'll do like I did with the wings. I'll put the fuselage vertical in the vise, and I'll put my permanent glue beads onto all the formers. Okay, so I think that's where we're going to leave it off for today. When we come back, we'll continue working on the fuselage. We'll be working in the nose section, getting the firewall installed and getting the tank mounting parts in. Even though we're not going to be using a tank, I'll be putting the battery in that area. So we'll be getting that done, and we'll be mocking up the radio. Then we'll start final mock-up before we start covering. I'm hoping to get my new E-flite Valiant in the air soon, so I'll be taking a little break from the build and working on that a little bit. So thanks for tuning in again. Like and comment and subscribe if you'd like, and I hope I'll see you back here next time.